curse on the gentle king of Hammer, his universe. Mighty hamlet swings with justice on his side. In battle's endless tide where valley and fear collide. Hope with their wings soars high above the gray. Dedication to the patron night and day. And Daran his faith strong and pure like the sea. His prayers will heal all setting spirits free. Across the shining land heroes stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. Well, that just happened in the realm of lore. Battles fought and legends born, stories they implore. Valia, the ranger with her aim fierce and true. Through forests dark and new, she just what to do. Across the shining land heroes stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. The sorcerer stands with magic so sublime. Her heart fierce and forthright, bending space and time. A mark of death sits upon her tired soul, haunted by shadows that she cannot control. Across the shining land heroes stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. The dwarf flowed with rage like a curse on the gentle king of Hammer, his universe. Mighty hamlet swings with justice on his side. In battle's endless tide where valley and fear collide. Hope with their wings soars high above the gray. Dedication to the patron night and day. And Daran his faith strong and pure like the sea. His prayers will heal all setting spirits free. Across the shining land heroes stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. Well, that just happened in the realm of lore. Battles fought and legends born, stories they implore. Valia, the ranger with her aim fierce and true. Through forests dark and new, she just what to do. Across the shining land heroes stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. The sorcerer stands with magic so sublime. Her heart fierce and forthright, bending space and time. A mark of death sits upon her tired soul, haunted by shadows that she cannot control. Across the shining land heroes stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. The dwarf flowed with rage like a curse on the gentle king of Hammer, his universe. Mighty hamlet swings with justice on his side. In battle's endless tide where valley and fear collide. Hope with their wings soars high above the gray. Dedication to the patron night and day. And Daran his faith strong and pure like the sea. His prayers will heal all setting spirits free. Across the shining land heroes stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. Well, that just happened in the realm of lore. Battles fought and legends born, stories they implore. Valia, the ranger with her aim fierce and true. Through forests dark and new, she just what to do. Across the shining land heroes stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. The sorcerer stands with magic so sublime. Her heart fierce and forthright, bending space and time. A mark of death sits upon her tired soul, haunted by shadows that she cannot control. Across the shining land heroes stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. The dwarf flowed with rage like a curse on the gentle king of Hammer, his universe. Mighty hamlet swings with justice on his side. In battle's endless tide where valley and fear collide. Hope with their wings soars high above the gray. dedication to the patron night and day. And Daran is faith strong and pure like the sea. His prayers will heal all setting spirits free. Across the shining land he'll stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. Well, that just happened in the realm of lore. Battles fought and legends born, stories they implore. Valenia the ranger with her aim fierce and true. Through forests dark and new, she just what to do. Across the shining land heroes stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. The sorceress stands with magic so sublime. Her heart fierce and forthright, bending space and time. A mark of death sits upon her tired soul, haunted by shadows that she cannot control. Across the shining land heroes stand tall. In the echo of history they never shall fall. Glorious tales of courage whisper through the night. The epic battle of warriors ready to fight. Thor in the dwarf flow with rage like a curse on the gentle king of Hammer, his universe. Mighty Hammer swings with justice on his side. In battle's endless tide where valiant fear collide. Hope with their wings soars high above the gray. Dedication to the patron night and day. And Daran is faith strong and pure like the sea. His prayers will heal all setting spirits free. Across the shining.
We're live. Over to you, Tim.
Oh, hello. Are you all sitting comfortably? Good. You can't escape. Welcome back. To episode 3? 3, yes.
4.
Of our Weird West Eberron shenanigans. Before we launch into the events of the day, I'm going to call on someone not at all randomly to present their character's notes on what happened last week. Hi, Zeke.
So, this is what Jeek last week. Ticket equals friends. Batwing equals friend. Arcane Fairies or Arcane to friends. Tiefling? Arcane has horns like big person at the crown. That's it.
So, with that illuminating encapsulation of what happened last week, you are in the common dormer room of the Crown. Your night has been, well, no one's been trying to kill you, so it's been quite restful, really. Curtains are drawn. Still dark outside. And there's a knock at the door.
Hold on. Who's closest to the door?
Jake's gonna jump out of bed, and as he jumps out of bed, you can see him wearing neon pink pajamas and fluffy slippers.
Fantastic.
And he grabs one of his hand axes and goes, "What?"
Carla opens the door. Morning, everyone. Don't forget you've got a dawn appointment at the town hall. Just giving you a quick wake up. You've got about half an hour to get there. Yeah, it's about 10 minutes away. So 20 minutes, get up, dressed. Because you wouldn't want the magistrate sending sheriff around to pick you up. You asked me to give you a wake-up call. So there you are, done.
At the excitable wake-up call, Jake's gonna jump and drop his hand axe and narrowly miss his foot, and he goes, "Do you want to go piece the floor?"
It's fine. It's fine. Just like I said, we'll. You can leave your stuff here and pick it up after. Be fine. We'll. You guys are the only occupants. Anyway, I'm going to go out and do stuff. I'm going to go and polish the table.
Iron your dog.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right. Well, Ariana gets up and starts getting dressed.
Here you are. Don't forget, across the hall you have got toilets and you have got the bathroom opposite, so those who want privacy, you can have it.
Where are the
So,
toilets?
So the toilet is the room at the top of the corridor, and directly opposite is the bathroom. There you go.
Jeek, not knowing modesty or dignity, I don't think he knows how to speak, to be fair. He just gets undressed.
Yeah.
And changes.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Presume just a general sort of whatever combination of needing to change, move, bustle back and forth in terms of ablutions, washing in the morning, things like that.
There's Ariana is letting her snakes have a good splash in the bath,
Good.
washing her hair.
There you go. Letting your hair have a swim.
Splish splash, there are snakes in the bath. Bum, 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 bum.
Akenferus is still fairly banged up. He's healed up, but generally whatever. You've got a choice. You can either drag him along with you or pick him up after. Either or.
Jake's gonna go over to Arcane Ferris and go, I know we have meeting, but yesterday you got very hurt. And if you want to stay here, that is absolutely fine.
Yeah, I'll come along because I somehow I think if we don't all turn up, that rather large sheriff might come and drag me out anyway. So I'll come along. I'm just going to be quite quiet at the back.
Well, if the sheriff is bad to you, then my dad says that a nice smile goes a long way.
Yeah. That sounds quite. Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, you can get a long way with a smile. He starts pulling it with that slightly bemused face. You'll all be starting to become, I think, aware that a lot of people, if they're talking to Cheek for any length of time, start to get this slightly baffled, confused expression.
Yep.
All you can hear from one of the bathrooms is Grazka just she comes out. She's got her little cravat on. She's looking very very much turned out very 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 normally now.
Yeah, wonderful. And as you come out into the main area, Carla's sort of there, sort of cleaning up. The Arak, the bouncer, is eating a hearty bowl of porridge, sort of sat at the table. Cara is sort of prepping something in the kitchen. She's got the doors open, got windows open front and back to kind of blow the cobwebs away, clear out some of the smell of people from last night. There's a woman asleep at one of the tables across the far side, sort of usual thing you'd expect, sort of 20, about 10-15 minutes before dawn.
Grazka goes over to the woman on the table, and she's got her staff and just pokes her gently.
Poor woman, sleep, Grazka.
Okay, she's not dead.
Yeah.
You watch as she puts her tape measure away.
Why would a person be dead in a tavern?
Tavern fights are a thing.
It happens more than you expect.
Okay.
I hope you're prepared to keep that accent up all session.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It's easier than this one from last week.
Yeah. Your voice did sort of seem to get quite sort of strained by the end of it.
Yeah.
You got me going now. No, I am not going to launch into a tangle finger in just the third episode of the game. Give it at least one or two more, maybe, if you're lucky.
Can I just ask, just for my notes, what is Grazka again?
Please describe Grazka.
Angry. No. She is about 3.5 foot tall.
Oh, no.
She is a kobold.
Right.
What colour's your scales?
She has red scales with a white snout. Sort of like a blue, like a really pale blue white snout, and it is almost white.
Okay. Unless you're making any plans to go completely rogue, getting to the town hall is not a problem. It's just off the main square, so it's literally you come out and it's sort of short distance, sort of see it across the way
Right.
there.
Let's go to the town square before giant robot things come after us again.
As we're walking past, Jake goes, I know this ain't toast. Do you have any?
Who are you saying that to?
The in person.
Colour. Yes.
Could I have 2 slices for the road, please?
If you've got time, yeah, okay.
I'm
Yeah,
not sure we have time. Do we have time?
you might cut it a bit fine, but yeah,
Okay.
she'll be fine.
Jake's gonna sort of like squeal as he takes his toast in his hands.
Yeah.
And start nibbling at it and sort of bounces towards the door.
Fair enough. They've sort of got. It's sort of like an Arga, so it's one of those sort of literally hit a hot plate, stick a grilled thing sort of under there, and sort of give you a couple of bits of slightly less than burned sort of slices of thick cut homemade, freshly made bread. Lovely, wonderful. But yes, getting to the town hall is no problem whatsoever. You are met at the door by the Sheriff Bulwark, and they are.
One Eye, don't shoot the sheriff. Otherwise, you'll have to shoot the deputy.
I'm going to say. They meet you outside the town hall and lead you inside. I will just very quickly change the screen. And in basically the main sort of part of the hallway there, you're led in sort of, you've got a large desk there. He sort of takes up station behind you. Okay, just one moment while I move that out of the way. I've got umpteen screens open. As it looks like the sort of space that these all sorts of various bits and pieces. The floor is it's not brand new. It's been sort of refurbished at some point. The carpets are not. They seem they've been there for a little while, but they're not sort of totally. They're not threadbare. But I suppose best describe it as it's all well maintained, but just a little bit rough around the edges. It's that sort of
Frontier town, kind of.
Yeah,
Is the rock a mimic?
How are you checking?
Insight?
Go on then.
Do we have any reason to think there might be a mimic in here?
Nope.
No idea.
Fine.
Okay.
No. Probably isn't. Maybe it's just lying in wait for you. Who knows?
Okay.
At the desk, you can see a very slender, very slightly built warforged. Their metals are sort of. You've got kind of this green lacquer, this sort of precious stone sort of set in the forehead. Got a gold chain of office. Sat at the desk, busy writing. And then you have another figure standing next to them, rather than off to the side there. A Medusa woman whose mane of snakes are red and striped, sort of that sort of coral snake sort of look. Firmly bound eyes in a blindfold.
Ariana's completely intrigued by this because she was raised in the Silver Flame. She's seen few, if any, other Medusans and has had to learn everything as she went by trial and error and sometimes error. So she's absolutely intrigued at this point. And her snakes are probably kind of trying to sniff out the snakes of you know,
Okay.
like dogs when they meet in the park.
Okay, there's a sort of a fairly reserved sort of look at you as you sort of where you are. If you guys want to shift yourselves around, sort of in front of the desk, please feel free to do so. Let's move back and first about there.
Kraska's just up at the desk, claws in the desk, like, hi.
And Sheriff just comes up and just stands nearby, far away.
Jake's gonna wave at the guard from yesterday.
Yeah.
Like Ariana and Goring are the only, and maybe One Eye are the voices of reason here.
Goring, could you make an insight check for me, please?
Yeah. Insight. Where has it gone?
Okay.
Very insightful.
You get the impression that standing right next to this person on his side of the desk is probably not the most politic thing to do.
I kind of shuffle back and pretend I was never there. What I was trying to do was get a proper look at him, trying to understand what is the fascination with all the metal people.
Okay. He sort of shuffled to your various approximations. Sheriff stands there. Right. Barely glances up from his work. He's filling in various ledgers and sort of looking at various notes and reports. Morning. I am Bassett. Please address me as magistrate. I also introduce to you emissary Tashka of Kazakh Dral. And they sort of wave a hand.
Sorry, what was the
Casually, but not carelessly, at the Medusa woman to their side.
What? Sorry.
And she nods in greeting.
Sorry, what was her name?
Tashka. Emissary Tashka of Kazakh Dral.
How do you spell Tashka?
Tashka. And if you make a history check,
All of us?
any of you, if you make history checks, score above a 10 or more, it's not a particularly difficult one. Glasgow, of course, you know this information. Jeek knows nothing. So yes, if you scored above 10, you are aware that Kazakh Dral is the name of the Droam capital, where the daughters of Sora Kel ruled from where they run the country. So there's actually some idea of possible, at least where she's from. And she nods in greeting. Now, please. And he sort of pauses and looks up from the paperwork in front of him. Please, do tell me what happened yesterday.
I try to raise my hand and get in there before some of the crazy people in our party. We were just taking a train like everybody else. But unfortunately, much to our shock, surprise, and amazement, a number of they were kobolds, weren't they? A number of
Graska just looks at you.
it was whatever the hell they were. Came in and just started hacking and slashing, and one of them was on a giant bat.
Tashka just raises a finger. Kobolds attacked the train. How did you say they got onto the train? Were they already passengers?
No. They came in on a giant bat that was being piloted by another,
Right.
and sort of came in through the windows.
Right.
We weren't the only passengers in the carriage, but it was our group who thought, no, we can't be having with this, and joined in to repel them and protect the remaining passengers and crew as best we could.
Right.
It started well, but then it turned out that a number of other
Right.
assailants had gotten into the engineers, the driver's cab, and
Right. So, what?
And I just go,
This is Facet says just the thing. So they attacked you in the passenger car.
yeah.
Were there? You said that there were some others though. Did they come into this in the same way, or?
Well, we didn't see because we did defeat the ones in the passenger car after quite a pitched battle. We didn't we just heard clunks. We didn't see exactly what happened, but what we did discover in the engineer's car was a giant woman made of rock who was impervious to all our attacks, who proceeded to destroy the crystal, and murdered. And of course, as I said, the driver was sadly murdered, and we did try to revive him.
By giant woman, I mean, are we talking 10 foot, 20? Do we mean a giant woman, or?
Well, she was. Yes, Goring. Please do continue.
I've got a song all about it. It completely.
No, don't continue. Stop continuing. Stop.
Fire and ogres, roasted bats. We had battles, kobold lost. Fires and ogres, roasted bats. Stone-clad kobold fire.
We're going to play in the pub later, okay?
Stones and gargoyles, flying creatures, so stoned bats. Fires and ogres, stoned bats.
Graska tries to give you a gold.
One eye's plugging his fingers in his ears.
Enough, and
Fascinating. Right. So you said the woman had wings and was made of stone. So you're telling me a gargoyle?
Well, could be. She didn't formally identify herself.
Right. I see. And she attacked and killed the pilot. So that explains that body.
And destroyed all the gubbins that make the train go, including the shard that held the air elemental.
There did seem to be quite a lot of damage and things. What were you doing while she was destroying the controls?
Trying to stop her. We launched arrows and spells at her, but we didn't even make a dent. And then she just bounded up and flew out of the train, leaving us to try to stop the train without either killing anyone in town or, in fact, dying ourselves.
Right, this is Facet again. So, right, so you're trying to stop. You're trying to stop the train. What measures did you take?
Well, given that we're not train drivers, or indeed knowing really anything about how the train works, a lot of it amounted to pulling on a lot of levers and hoping for the best.
Logical. That makes sense.
Oh.
Tashka sort of is looking troubled. The train driver, Percival, seems to have died from a dagger wound. You don't happen to know who?
I didn't see anyone here. Anyone, guys, recall exactly?
The gargoyle lady stabbed him with his own dagger.
Right. What is this dagger? She looks at Facet, and Facet starts shuffling through some things. What can you tell me about that dagger?
It was pretty.
How so?
Yeah! Bastard. I don't.
I pipe up and go, it was purple and jewelled.
Thank you. How did I not write that down? Oh, that's the wrong page.
That gets a reaction from Tashka. Purple. How peculiar. And we didn't find that dagger in the wreckage. Do you know what's happened to it? You didn't happen to pick it up, did you?
No, it was the gargoyle lady. She took it.
She took it. Right. Okay.
This
As I
looked to be
Gargoyles and
carefully
stole it
planned.
back.
Right.
This wasn't a random attack. This looked to be a concerted, planned attack, and they looked surprised that there was anyone there capable of fighting back.
Yes, Magistrate says. I have to say I'm quite impressed with, given how you were thrown into things, how you've handled it, to be honest. And I said no one got killed in the by the train crashing. The
Close.
the remaining staff of the train attest to how bravely you fought, and the other survivors, as we've spoken to them, also have spoken glowingly of your efforts. I don't suppose you've got any thoughts on why this gargoyle would steal his dagger?
It was pretty.
Not me.
It was a very pretty dagger.
Very pretty.
Maybe the jewels. Maybe you seem surprised, Madam Tashka, that it was purple. But that's pure speculation. I certainly don't know. I don't know if anyone else of our kind of fire forged folk here have any other ideas.
Right. I think, and he sort of pauses and looks at Tashka, and she looks at him and nods. I would like you to look into a couple of things for me. You are, of course, under no obligation, but I would like to deputize you to find out a little bit more what's going on, why the gargoyle would steal that dagger, and where these kobolds came from.
The magistrate.
Yes.
I have one question. What exactly is deputizing?
I would like to offer you, in return for investigating and finding out what's going on, a role. I would like people to know that you are working for me to investigate this. I will offer you free room and board, either at the Crown, if you wish to continue there, or at the Golden Dragon Inn. And I will also offer you a 10 gold pace wage for your services, half up front, of course.
Is that each or for the group?
Oh, each. We do have some respect for the skills that you have already exhibited, and I would like to ensure that those skills are used in the defence of this town.
Mr. Magistrate, does that mean that I get a badge?
I'm sure we could, at the very least, find you a writ that you could show people. I don't have any badges lying around, but I could certainly offer you we could offer you some papers that you could show to demonstrate that you are working for me.
Okay, Mr. Magistrate, and Duke at that moment sounds like sort of like doing a happy shuffle dance when eating his toast.
And and I suggest, because again, I'm bearing in mind that apart from myself and Goring, we hadn't met before now. Shall we just have a tiny little huddle and make sure everyone is happy with this? Because I don't want to speak for Grazka, and Jeek's already keen, and One Eye, or even anyone else.
That's all.
Goring just pipes up and goes, "I'll do whatever you say, Ariana."
If you would like to confer, then by all means take a couple of moments, and then I will deputize or not.
And of course, presumably, Aracafina is here as well, right? I pronounced that completely wrong. Acaferis, thank you.
Akin Ferris, yes.
Is also. So yeah, I mean, let's. So guys, what do you think? I mean, shall we become a sort of deputized party?
I'm happy to do so.
Graska already has job, but Graska happy to find more treasure.
I mean, we can't exactly say no.
Fair.
Um,
I take it, Jeek, that you are already quite happy about this.
Yes, if I am to be a protector hunter, then I must have a job. And I've not had a job before. What is a wage?
It means you'll get paid. Money.
So I do good thing for Mr. Magistrate, and he give me money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Just don't make any mistakes, but if
Or
some
don't make
mistakes
many.
made, we get paid.
Okay, fine. I step forward a bit and just say, to absolutely no one's surprise, we would be delighted to lend our services as a group to this cause. It will make, and I look at Grazka and say, think of the songs we can write.
And I'm like, yay, more songs and singing! Woo!
We need to have a chat about that, Grazka, when you have a minute. But
Wonderful. Right. He's sort of feeling. He has a stack of papers
My
next.
parents told me I have a voice of an angel.
My parents told me I have hair and I have snakes. So.
But it is
Magistrate,
your hair.
filling out more of the forms, ignoring you until we come back with an answer.
And we come, as I say, we come back and say that we are agreed to those terms.
He sort of reaches to a folder next to him, opens it up, and lays out on the front of his desk, facing you, each a small piece of paper, probably about A5 size for using modern day sizes, so you know what it, that has your name, a short piece of script, basically identifying you as deputies for the magistrate, and entreating any member of Redstone to assist you in the fulfilling of your duties. He then reaches into a drawer and counts out 30 gold coins, which he places on the table. Now, I'm not sure where you want to begin looking at this.
I mean, do bear in mind, we're quite new at this. As we explained, most of us had not met before this. So any pointers you'd care to give us to begin with would be most gratefully received, sir.
Okay. Well, I would suggest that it would be a good idea to go to talk to the staff at the House Orion offices at the Lightning Rail station. After all, the driver was one of their employees. And you mentioned kobolds. While they're not part of your tribe, Grazka, we do have the Capel tribe local. So might be worth talking about them and see if they know any.
What tribe was that? Sorry.
Capel. So KHAAR apostrophe
Yeah.
PAAL.
Jake's going to get his list out of his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Hand it over to Magistrate. If am I allowed to do my list?
What is on the list?
He takes the piece of paper and looks at it.
It is very important.
Well, as long as you don't slaughter anything that belongs to someone. Well, if you do, you'll just have to take it up with them. I don't have the time or manpower to police what else you might be doing, but if this is something that you are doing, I'm sure that there are plenty of things out in the wilds that could satisfy your bloodlust. Yes, fascinating. Hands it back to you.
Thank you.
Right. Well, yes, I would suggest start with House Orion, and the local tribes. See what they can say. Someone somewhere is going to know where these kobolds have come from. Hopefully, from there, then maybe they'll know who it was that led them on this raid and why. Right. Good day. Come back to me or the sheriff when you have any more information.
I'm sorry, Lady Tashka. If you ever get a chance, I wasn't raised amongst our kind. I'd love to have a chat at some point, just to learn.
He pauses. Yes, why not? That can be arranged. And she sort of takes a piece of paper off the desk, scribbles a small note on it, and says, "This is my address in the town. As and when you have time, do feel free to drop in and call on me."
Thank you very much.
I look forward to hearing about your background, where you've come from.
I can sing it to you.
It's a considered nod. I'm sure that'll be a way of passing the time.
Thank you very much. Anyway, that's...
Jake's going to walk up to One Eye and sort of like whisper. So, I'm Jake. Friend?
Allies, for now.
Allies. Okay.
Good. Going. Could you make a perception check for me as you're leaving? You may overhear something.
Yeah. Perception.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no. It's not that difficult. Not that difficult to miss, but no. Okay. So what you do here with passive, because your passive perceptions are relatively high, is Tashka just say one last sort of thing to Magistrate. You overhear her saying, "Well, it seems as good a trial as any. I look forward to you proving you can support this place, Magistrate." Close the doors and head out into the street. So,
As good a start as any.
Good a trial as any.
Who hears that? Just Gorink.
you no. There was something else that they might have perceived, but they don't. But you do all hear that. And then they go and they shall go and retire to a room further in to continue their conversation.
Jake's going to wait until they're outside and go.
I have +2 perception. Why didn't you ask me?
I've got all your passive perceptions in front of me, so I based it off that.
Yeah, Jake's going to whisper to the group. I think the magistrate is in trouble with Tashka.
The dawn is now well and truly underway, sort of that lovely sort of early sort of morning sort of breaking through. The clouds are sparse. The heat you can feel sort of starting to drive away the chill of the night. And the town is starting to swap from its nighttime economy to that of humans. So during the night, this is something that Jeek and Akinferus observed while they were out in the evening, that rather than having a strict day-night cycle of everyone's active in the day and then it's deathly quiet, the various different species, sets of people, communities who are making up this town generally are active during times that are more comfortable for them. So a lot of the for example, kobolds, goblins, those who are more comfortable in darker hours are tending to sort of be more active and sort of going about their lives during the hours of darkness. The humans, elves, those who sort of haven't got any particular preference, work within that. So it's not a case of there necessarily being a specific set business time that things are open or close. It's much more independent based on who the owner of any given business is. And some places have got enough staff to run 24 hours. Others may be somewhat erratic. So that is a facet you've started to observe. So this kind of the smell of sort of breakfasts of sort of fry ups from sort of a couple of sort of local hole in the wall style little diners. You sort of started to get that kind of traditional breakfast smell that you're more used to from being out sort of in the towns and communities further east. But there are also just as many where, as the dawn is rising, there are some of the goblin businesses are closing up shop and sort of drawing down the shutters and preparing to sort of to go to bed, things like that. So that's just to give you an idea. So there are generally, there's always someone around, is what I'm saying. So that's just going to set the scene in terms of things. So there's traffic of carts and people on horses or lizards of various descriptions. There's song, there's the sounds of the town continuing fairly unabated, really. What would you like to do?
Well, does anyone want breakfast besides Jeek?
Grazka's just literally going to grab like a string of sausages or something from a local cart and just offer them around to anybody. She's not lifting them. She's literally buying them.
Right. Okay. Say a silver for a string of a string of cooked sausages. There's someone. There's sort of hole in the wall style food truck, for lack of a better description, but it's not a truck, obviously. But they've got an open grill and they're sort of grilling various meats of various origins that are probably not named meats. As in not called Fido.
Do they wear clothes?
Either way, Graska's not fussed. She just offers like one to one eye. It goes, "You want some food?
Is it good food?
It's sausage yummy."
Yeah, I'll take one. I get the snakes to smell it first and let me know if it's actually edible.
Graska, was it?
That's my name.
If I take a sausage, does that mean that we're friends?
Do you want to be friends? Graska's make friends all the time.
Jeek sort of rips a bit off his toast and does an exchange and goes, "Toast is also good."
She puts it in a pocket.
I suggest we start with House Orion because it's the best lead we've got at the moment. That's still more or less in the area.
Before we carry on, Jeek's going to look at one eye and go, "Sausage?"
Yeah, saves me having to get some myself.
He kind of rips two of the legs apart and hands one over.
He's just gonna hold it by like the sausage, like as it is, and just like bite it. You know, like how you would like beef jerky or something.
Mhm.
He's just eating the sausage like that.
Fair enough.
Silly question. I just guess that's really off there. Would Grazka know of any sort of underground sort of things that are happening in the area? People of less than reputable, but fucking words. Less trustworthy people. That's easier.
Yeah, almost certainly. I mean, it's that sort of thing of it's a town. There are going to be people who are more law-abiding than others. You know that there are mercenaries. There are troops who live nearby. There's various people who have a make a history check.
History.
Yeah.
What's that come through as? I can't see it.
A 4.
4. Then no.
Okay. I think probably then that thing at the moment, no, I think it's just so overwhelmed with everything that's going on. Probably with a bit of thought you could, but I think by the time most troublemakers come to your attention, you're measuring them up for a box. There's there's the tattooists always seem to have a trade of mercenaries who are wandering through. They live in a they work in a they sort of have their studio sort of in. How best to describe this? They sort of run a school for the local kids, but also run their tattooing out of a workshop above it, sort of thing. There are obviously various taverns people come through. There are merchants who are various mercantile sort of groups coming in. Yeah, it's. I think the thing is, yeah. I mean, from what you remember is that originally, sort of this is very much a frontier town, so lots of petty crime, but there's sort of this balance of like, while there's not organized crime per se, let's say that the families who are perhaps less than honest or might have smuggling backgrounds or are sort of perhaps sort of the lads of the heavies, sort of so to speak, possibly have sort of a bit of a non-confrontational agree to look the other way going on with the sheriff, because I think it's one of those things of, if they came to his attention, he would have to splat them. There's not a police force per se, so violence is very often violence will happen, and you won't have anyone stepping in to stop you. So vengeance is what you can reach for yourself. Very, very much. When you're thinking Wild West, this is that thing. So duels fought. If someone steals your horses, if the sheriff doesn't get to you first, then the mates of whoever it was, whoever you get hold of, you administer your justice to them.
That's really interesting thinking about it, because with everything we've been told, we've been deputized when there isn't really a police force to be deputies of.
Congratulations, you are now the police force.
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
Oh, this is definitely complicated for one eye.
Or at least you are investigators for the magistrate. Not for the sheriff, for the magistrate.
Are we Batman?
No, that'd be the gargoyles, surely.
We do have a bat wing, if it hasn't been eaten already.
Yeah, I mean there are. I mean, Grask, you're aware that there are various bandit companies, bandit families, who are active in the area. There was a couple of big ranches, and they're pretty much a law to themselves. You'll get kind of lone wanderers wandering through who may or may not be after anything, but you sort of, their appearance in town will usually have people going, perhaps we won't go out this evening, or we'll go find somewhere else to do the shopping. There'll be smugglers for we're near Shan, so we're not near Shan, but that's the nearest big thing. So some of the sort of big movers from Breland will be people like Boromar clan, House Dask. You'll have, and that's probably about as much as you are aware of. There are, it's a real melting pot, but very much think your rough and ready Wild West small town. Well, not that small, but it's that sort of atmosphere and feeling. So yeah, if you go looking for criminals, you'll find them.
It's almost like there's crime, but that everybody respects one another to keep it contained.
It's keeping it sort of below a certain level of disruption, perhaps, is the best way of putting it. Yes, that sort of tacit keeping everyone responsible for keeping the peace in their immediate area, because otherwise they'll have to deal with it. And if it gets violent, then the sheriff will turn up and stop it.
Okay, how far is it House Orion?
Literally the other side of the square. I mean, it's literally near that station you half destroyed. That's also their enclave as well.
That was another kobold.
It's pride of place. It's like the big central centerpiece, really, of the kind of the center of town. The rail literally running through and sort of terminating literally at the moment. And so it's hard to miss it, really. It's kind of a buzz of activity. There's people doing repair works, sweeping up. There's dozens of workers. There's various backgrounds. Humans, kobolds, most common. They sort of seem to be that mix. There's the station master is there barking orders at people, sort of getting sort of stuff cleared and organising what looks like as people loading some of the kind of the broken stone and timbers onto the back of a cart, which is pulled by 4 large lizards. There's there's sort of various sort of workmen and stuff doing that. What you're kind of looking for going, and this is just seeing from a distance. This is sort of just what you can observe as you're kind of standing outside the town hall.
We want to think about how we want to approach this, or are we just going to rush in where angels fear to tread?
I say we make one eye run in and shoot everybody, and then we leave.
I don't think we should do that. That won't give us any information.
I'm joking. Well,
sure.
By the way, if you haven't already, do add those 5 gold each to your character sheets.
How do we get?
I forgot about doing that.
Thought I'd remind you. So if you have your character sheet, it should be a matter of, I think it's Let me just double check. It's been a while since I've done it. Just click on a random cat.
I was actually meaning to. Yeah, I was actually meaning like. Wait,
It's under inventory.
Yeah.
I'm adding it to silver. I'm adding it to silver, so I've got silver to spend.
Oh, I just do it as gold because I can't be asked with trying to do maths with gold, silver.
So if you go into inventory, you'll see opposite the weight carried at the top, you'll see your
Gold, I
coin
found it.
breakdown. If you
Found it.
click on that, it'll
Yep.
go into manage coins, and you can just manually edit in, or you can adjust coin and put in 5, add, and it'll add it into the appropriate.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. And it has also got the exchange rate. So,
Basically, it's manners of 10.
yeah.
So it's
Well,
10
sort of, apart from the actual-
10 copper to a silver, 10 silver to a gold.
Yeah. However, actually, I was going to say don't split it out. Keep it as the goal, because if you want to be changing coins, there will be a commission.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
There we go. Done.
Is this just so you don't have to also do maths with copper, silver, and platinum and electrum?
No, I'm making you do the maths.
No, the worst thing a DM can do.
Absolutely.
To be fair, you don't have to, because I think when you go into that in the inventory, you can make it do it.
Oh, absolutely.
You can put in like what you can change 1 gold piece just by clicking on adjust coin.
Wait, how?
Yeah. No, in terms of adding it on, but if you are needing to break that up, you will need to go to the bank, House Kundrak,
Or spend it and get change.
or spend it and get change. Yeah. Okay, that's all. What I'm saying is, you can't magically have 5 gold coins and say, I've got 4 gold coins and 10 silver.
Yeah, that's fine. That is absolutely fine.
I don't make you do a lot of inventory management, but
No.
I will ask then in that case. Because obviously sometimes in D&D you would automatically say if you get a ridiculous amount of gold, you might start putting in platinum so you don't have so much gold. At what point would it be considered too much gold and you would have to convert it to platinum, or do we just keep it all as gold? Like far from the adventure when there's like 200 gold, and it's like, all right.
We'd still need to go and change it up.
you still need to go and change it. Yeah.
Okay, but like, what would be the point where you would say, yeah, guys, come on, change it up?
Well, probably about the point that if it's such a point that you would be needing to lug it around in a large chest to carry it around with you, I suggest finding more portable ways of carrying it.
Okay, and because I'm sorry to ask these questions. How much gold does a normal like gold pouch sort of like how much would be considered a normal amount?
Okay, so I don't, like I say, I don't normally do a lot of the inventory management, but so one of the things you in your settings would have been to not do the encumbrance value of gold, but technically, I think it's 10 coins equals a pound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so if you go by that level, then for example, if you look at a container like a backpack, it'll tell you how many pounds it can contain.
Yes.
It's about the equivalent to 50 gold pieces, give or take.
Yeah.
Right, and if we go over 50, then we need to change them up.
Or buy some more pouches.
Yeah, give or take. That's the way I look at it. It's
I'm generous,
Yeah.
and I don't enforce it heavily unless it is like you've uncovered a large amount of money and you're needing to transport it, in which case we'll talk about the logistics. But for general day to day, I'm not going to be sort of encouraging it. But if you were to turn around and say, yes, I pull out my purse and take out 1,000 gold pieces, then I'll start. Then I'll probably start asking a few questions of how are you carrying it around. So employ some common sense.
Yeah. It's that just think of what would be going on normally.
Yeah. Or I can be unkind and go into everyone's settings and tell it to do encumbrance for coins, in which case that really does make it your problem.
Yeah, I just thought if you were doing that, I was just asking just for obviously, for that reason, because normally you would automatically transfer it over to a different currency, so it's not gone funny. But yeah,
I've never actually allowed that, but
Yeah.
because I've not been tracking it, and because of the magical things that were available, for example, to the DDC, you had
oh yeah,
portable
no,
gold,
I
and-
never had that much money anyway for
Yeah.
that. Our one was very far behind.
Yeah. So that's not ever a thing that I've just hand waved and allowed to do, and I've
Okay.
challenged it on a number of
Yeah,
occasions.
I never needed to ask the other one because obviously I'd never had that much.
Okay. And this is partly because I'm old school, first edition, well, basic D&D, where you had the incumbent value of money, and so I've basically grown up with always doing it. So there you are.
It's I think with that as we're stood there, Grazka's
Anyway, yes.
Grazka's waving to the station head. Has started to walk over.
Okay, yeah, the station master. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's you doing that? Okay.
The map is still.
What about the rest of you?
Yeah, I think
We're still in.
I think we're just using this map at the moment.
Yeah.
We're not going to have maps for
Yeah,
everything.
no, we're this isn't going to be a map-based bit. So if you want to sort of
Let me
take that off,
let me change us back
Yeah.
to the.
Change it to more of our beautiful faces.
That's not what I wanted to do.
I mean, all right. I'm still like, hey guys, shouldn't we like have a plan, or are we just doing our own? Because we're all very different people, and if we want to get any information out of any of these people, perhaps we should think about how we'd like to do that.
I know how to pop a kneecap off.
Yeah, we're not going to pop anyone's kneecaps off right now. I don't think that is the intention. We don't know who's done this, and some of these people are likely to have not done this.
This is the conversation, Grazka, you can hear receding behind you as you walk across the square.
But if we find the people that made the train go green, can I break kneecaps?
If we find those people, quite likely, yes. If you can break Boyle's kneecap.
I'm assuming you're having this conversation as you're walking across the square.
Yeah.
That's because I'm a little ahead of you. The rest of you going on, and okay.
Do I know the station master's name, or do I know of him?
You know of him, but you've probably never met him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a dwarf.
Is that trying to get a sense of who I know in the town rather than?
Yeah, you probably never met him, but
I'm happy just to be. I know of him, that he's a station master. What
you
he
know
looks
what?
like.
Yeah, you know of it. You know of a name. You know his name's Bruce.
Bruce.
Yeah.
As in
G'day, Bruce.
As in Bruce Almighty.
Well, spelt differently because he's a dwarf and it's a fantasy world. So Bruus. But yeah.
Okay. So it's Swedish.
I'm Bruce. Yes.
I am Bruce.
His name is Bruce.
Oh no!
No, not horse. Bruce.
That brings a whole new meaning to dwarves. No longer are they Scottish; they are Swedish.
Everyone's a hell of a world.
There's a there's a Sweden everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere has a Sweden. What about everyone else? You sort of just carrying on. Yeah.
I think Ariana has given up to try to get a group-led plan, because that's clearly all we've determined is we're not going to break knees unnecessarily. One-Eye, do you have anything to add? Because you might be sensible.
Well, I say if we want to try and catch him, we got to go down into the underground areas where shady people go. Then we can get information from there.
Well, why don't we do a two-pronged approach where, say, Raska and I, or rather, Gorink and I go and talk to to the folk in House Orion, whilst those who have affinity with the underworld do that, and we regroup in an hour.
All
Ariana?
you hear in the distance is good neighbours.
Gorink, you were saying?
You cut
Didn't
out.
hear
So
that.
you cut out. You were about to say something.
Can't remember what it was now. Don't worry.
I mean, I just suggested splitting up, where you and I go and talk to House Oriana, while and I don't know what Akim Ferris is doing at this point.
Not a lot.
I kind of go, do we think that's a good idea? Because if they're as bad as they were on the train, don't we think we were better off in staying together?
Fair point.
Bruce looks up as you shout, Graska, and sort of has. Again, he's never met you, but he sort of looks across. He is how best describe him. Think of a dwarvish Miles O'Brien, and you're not far off it.
God, he lives a shit life then.
Permanent exasperated is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, he's got that look of someone who has got to a position by dint of hard work and being unexpectedly promoted to a position he doesn't really want, but he's going to make the damn good best use of it he can to make the place run like clockwork. God damn it. So sort of looks right. He can hear his name being, and he's sort of looking around, being a dwarf. He's not looking over your head at all. He sort of sees you coming over, and he sort of steps away from the crew that he's just been organising, sort of dusting his hands off with a oily rag. Says, yeah, who's calling? Who?
She waves her staff. It's me, Graska.
Graska. Oh.
I work in the graveyard normally.
Grave diggers.
That's the one.
Oh, yeah. That's the one. Right, yeah. What can I do for you then?
Me and my new friends. Well, we are looking. We've been deputised, you see.
Right.
And we're investigating the crash.
Right. Yeah. I'd be fair. You know what? I'm glad someone is, because it's a thankless old task. It's at this point that a middle-aged human man appears. He's sort of coming out of the main building. He's about 6'2", immaculately dressed. He's very high status, so it's sort of long, sort of morning suit type, sort of long-tailed sort of coat. It's of it sort of shimmers gently in the light, sort of this sort of very, very subtle kind of blue shimmer amongst the black weaves. He's got sort of a cravat. He has a sort of swagger stick he walks with, and there's a dragon mark curling up his neck, sort of just seen through seen on the side there. And he appears on the surface. Crew sort of just it's not like parting of the seas. The crew sort of stop, move away. There's sort of not quite tugging of forelocks, but and Bruce sort of stops and sort of turns and says, "Ah, my lord. So, Graska, this is Lord Seneschal Emmerich Dorian. He's one of the most important dragon-marked heirs here in these lands, and very sort of graciously sort of says, please, just and this is about the time the rest of you are starting to arrive. So just, I gather that I have you to collectively to thank for there not being a grave loss of life yesterday. I would just like to just take a moment of your time, whatever you're getting on with, just offer you my sincere thank you. And of course, if there's anything we can do, I had heard you had been that the magistrate had a plan. If there's anything we can do to assist in your investigations, then of course, Bruce and Ria will be more than happy to assist you with this.
Can you tell us anything about Percival, who had a very distinct dagger that seemed to be of interest to the assailants?
I didn't know him. However, Bruce and Ria both worked with him, so I shall leave you in their capable hands, and I shall just return to my offices. But thank you very much for coming along. I just wanted to officially offer you House Orion's thanks for your efforts yesterday.
She straightens her cravat and reaches out a claw.
Yes, thank you. And just sort of steps away and just sort of does that sort of no, and then just sort of moves himself away. So Bruce very much sort of intercedes sort of between you before you can actually lay hands on his personage. This is one of those. You got that look of someone sort of lunging wildly at the Pope, sort of. No, don't do that.
Radka, you've got something to say?
Gorink.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Braska wanted to...
No, it was Gorink.
Gorink, sorry. Me getting my name wrong.
Look up and down. That mark on your neck.
Pauses. The dragon mark.
What does it do?
It is a symbol of my membership and leadership within House Orion. I have powers bestowed upon me by the mark that I use in the service of my house. Have you not encountered dragon marks before?
No.
Hmm.
I've lived in a monastery and I've given my service to the Silver Flame.
Hmm.
And
how worthy.
Sing.
Well, do not let me detain you, and I'm sure your companions will be able to elucidate further for you. And he turns.
No. I want to learn more about that because
he's
I don't know.
Totally ignoring you, and Bruce and then the other individual, Ria, arrives. Ria is a woman, dark complexioned, hair in a long bob. But sort of quite casually sort of dressed in sort of breeches, unadorned plain blouse, tool belt at the side, at her side, and she sort of says, just let the Lord Seneschal be about his business. I'm sure we can talk about things, but really, no, just you're. Please don't bother him, please.
I just.
Then whisper, why are you scared? Why are you scared of him? He's a person.
Yes, but he also pays our wages and is very, very important. And we don't just. You really don't get out much, do you?
No, but.
Look, Gorink, there's
Yeah, Ria is definitely at this point sort of looking across at the rest of you with sort of a slightly sort of help me emanation coming from her eyes.
We'll find out about it in a bit, okay? I don't think it's that important. And think of the songs we can write when we do, but if we make him mad, we won't be able to write any songs about him.
in a rare showing of seriousness, and he actually knows what he's talking about. Jake steps forward and goes, going, there are people in positions of power that we do not want to argue with. He seems to be one of them.
I'm kind of looking bemused, going, but isn't the Silver Flame the one that we should be all looking up to and making sure that everything we do is in favour of them, not to a person?
There's more to power than worship. Fear is power.
And not everyone follows the Silver Flame. So we need to be aware of them.
Graska's just
I mean,
exchanging.
I don't really follow anyone.
Graska's exchanging looks with one eye, like.
Yeah, I don't really follow anyone. So what do you say about me?
But Bruce is
But
sort
you
of.
don't do harm to people. You don't. What can I say? You don't. You don't treat people nastily. You treat people well.
But both Jake and One Eye are going.
Yeah, he's also kind of doing the same thing, kind of glancing at G.
But Bruce and Rhea are kind of looking at each other going, we're going to get back to work.
Sorry, Bruce and Eric, before you do, can we please just ask you a couple of questions that aren't about dragon marks?
Make a persuasion roll with advantage.
Why have I got him with a Jake and One Eye comparing notes on pain? So how do you have people? Oh.
15 and 19. Lovely, wonderful. You've obviously cut straight across. It was one of those things that you could see it was there sort of, well, we must be getting on with that thing of we're trying to extricate themselves, but you've actually started to ask some actual sensible questions.
Yeah.
So remind me, what was the question that you asked?
Can you tell us a little more about Percival, who was driving the train, as he was carrying a dagger that the assailants seemed to be focused on?
Oh well, yeah. So, Rhea, could you go sort of? I'll fill him in on Percival, and Rhea sort of has that sort of slightly critical look of you sure, but on the other hand is very aware there's a lot of people needing to be organised. So she sort of gratefully sort of backs away, says, Percival, yeah, come take it. There's some various crates and sort of things they've got sort of cloth over it. Come on, come take a seat. Let's get out of the sun a bit. It's starting to heat up. Percival, yeah, he's known him for years. He was, I guess. Still can't quite get used to that. He really experienced pilot. He piloted trains all over the western reaches of Breland for most of his career. He was new in this area, but we'd heard quite a lot about him in various things. One of the reasons he got this prestigious sort of line to run. Yeah, he was really proud of that dagger. He always sort of said it was. What did he say it was made out of? He said he got it from his father. His father had handed it down to him, and it was made of Bayeshk. That was what he called it. It's apparently got magical properties, some sort of magical thing. The metal itself, it's sort of mined. I think the Bayeshk mountains, but also kind of Greywall, sort of further around down towards the south. Weird that he always seems sort of really. It's odd. Sometimes he was sort of really proud of it. He always had it, whatever, but he was always sort of a bit sort of uneasy wearing it around some of our kobold workers. He was a good guy. I think it was that thing of it. He sort of had that kind of reflected glory of this nice piece, and he's really proud of his dad. And so I think it was that sort of that thing of it's an heirloom, but that does that make? I can't remember what the actual question was now.
It was about the night, about Percival, what he was like,
Yeah.
and what you
He
know
was,
about.
yeah, he was. I mean, yeah, he was professional. He was well experienced. He took a real interest. You know, it was always that thing of he had a really good close control of his elementals. So he could step away from the helm. He could do things like checking the tickets without the train needing to be constantly marshaled all the time. There are other heirs who aren't as skilled, and they have to be in the engine with the elemental at all times to make it keep going and to keep moving. So he's um I still can't quite believe it's happened. But yeah, I really liked him. You know, he ran the weekly, the weekly back and forth. He'd sort of come here. He'd go to the Golden Dragon, stay over. He might occasionally go to the Crown or some of the diners to sort of, if it was going on, go to the theatre. He took an interest in people. You know, he was always asking where people were coming from, what their plans were. Made him a really good ambassador for the house. You know, people wanted to travel with him more.
Did he ever? Sorry, go on.
Did he? Did anyone have any issues with him?
Like I said, the only thing I ever really sort of I never knew him. I think maybe sort of a couple of times getting in his cups and having so there might be an argument over a hand of cards or something, or all that kind of petty stuff. Nothing you'd want to stab anyone over. I said the only thing I ever saw him really sort of restrained on was he just. He'd kind of tuck it around a bit, or he'd sort of put a coat over if he was around our kobold workers. But that was the only ever.
Did he ever use
He's never unpleasant to them. Don't get me wrong, but
did he ever use the knife? Did you ever see him using it for anything?
No, I don't know because he was. No, I don't. I mean, I don't think he ever used it for cutting his food. You know, he had a knife he'd use for slicing his beef up. You know, sort of a separate one. But no, it was almost like a talisman to him. Really, it was that sort of. It was a little bit of his family history, and
did you ever see him without it?
Not when he was working. No, don't know. No, because he'd wear it even off duty. No, it was like constantly with him. It was that sort of. It would almost be that thing of sort of sometimes if he was sort of having to sort of stop and think about things, he'd sort of you'd see his hand sort of drop down to touch it, sort of almost that kind of reassurance of it's there. It was just one of those little weird ticks he had. It's like some people sort of, if they're sort of stopped to think, they'll sort of tuck their thumbs in the lapels, or they'll sort of scratch their arse, or they'll sort of start doodling something. You know, it was his kind of his focus thing was sort of he'd to stop, not in a I'm going to draw my dagger and use it way, just that sort of. He just sort of just touch the scabbard, or he sort of his finger would just kind of rest on the pommel. You know, sort of just on the pommel stone of it.
Do you have
he wasn't a violent guy.
Any kobold workers who worked with him that we could chat to? Because if he was nervous around them, I'm not saying they did anything wrong. Don't get me wrong, but perhaps some of them might know the significance of the knife to kobolds.
Well, I mean, best way in the world. I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to invite any of my workers here because they're all far too busy to be dropping their work. But I mean, our kobolds, they're a reliable workforce. Mostly they're home just the far side of the tents over the east side, sort of on the outskirts. So I guess you could go to over there, and because they'll be members of the tribe there, and then whoever's off, people who are off shift will be be based there. So you could do that.
Do you have any? I mean, is there anyone in particular you think it would be worth, who know him a little bit better, or work with him, or had looked at the knife either
He didn't-
funny or longingly,
I
or?
mean, not that I ever noticed. He didn't really work with them. It would be more a case of he'd be in and be sort of there as part of the restocking or whatever. But he'd just be kind of aware of. It was something I noticed. He didn't make a big thing of it.
And I'm not accusing any of your workers of doing anything. It's just trying to
Absolutely not.
understand what the significance of that knife is, because although, as you can see, we do, one of our party is indeed, and I look over at Goring, of a kobold. We don't have any. Sorry, Graska. Sorry. It's because I'm swapping between look. Anyway, doesn't matter. But as far as Graska, I think you agreed, Graska, it was pretty.
Yeah, but very, very pretty. Very pretty knife. It's very sad he dead. We're sorry for your loss.
Gets his pipe out, starts packing a pipe while he's listening to you. Yeah.
Have you ever seen blue?
Yeah.
Have you?
If you want to go talk to our workforce, yeah, go to the tents. There'll be people there. They'll talk to you. I wouldn't probably if one of the foremen is there, probably they'll sort of speak up for people. But
have you ever seen blue versions of me before?
Have I ever seen what?
Blue versions of me.
Blue versions of you? Not local. No. There might be. I mean, I suppose some of the tribes further out in the deserts, if they were related to one of the kind of the great worms out there, might have that coloration. But certainly, all our workers are kind of similar tones to yourself, reds and oranges and things like that.
Okay.
Besides which, our workers they're paid well to work here. They wouldn't attack the train; it's their livelihood.
No, nobody's accusing them of that. We just don't know what the significance, the fact that Percival was protective of the knife around kobolds isn't to say that your kobolds would have done anything. It's more to understand what significance it might have. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth a try. I mean, if it was something that was there, I guess that would be a thing. I suppose the other thing you could try is I suppose you could ask the Rangers. We got mercenaries working for us. They're kind of ex-British army, but they helped kind of settle the area and sort of drive out some of the nastier creatures around. Percival's dad used to be part of that company, I think. So they've got a camp sort of about about 5 minutes down the trail, just on the outside. They're sort of if you go up the street there, go to the end, and then carry on another 5 minutes. They've got a camp just outside where they're based. So if they're off to, I suppose I think the sergeant or whoever's in charge there might remember Percival's dad. But if you're looking for where that dagger came from, that's where Percival got the dagger from. So. But he never, other than saying that he got it from his dad, he never sort of told me anything more about it.
That's really helpful. Thank you. Anyone else for anything else? Or
Starts to light up his pipe and sort of.
I'm kind of just sat on the side listening to you, but kind of sulking because the guy didn't want to talk about his dragon mark.
Why not? Anything?
Eek.
Eek. I'm just afraid Cheek's going to try to break his kneecaps. That's why I didn't say Cheek.
She goes, what if the knife could... Wait, is Bruce still here?
Yeah. You're still kind of sat on him on packing crates and things, sort of just to one side, so the work crews can carry on. I mean, the air is full of sort of clattering and banging and sort of wood being sawed and things like that. So he's kind of basically sort of moved you so you're not blocking the work crews as they're sort of busy doing repair work, and every now and then there's sort of that little sort of snap of crackle of sort of someone sort of casting mending to sort of straighten out sort of bent wrought iron supports for chairs and things like that.
Did the gargoyle thing take the dagger in the end, or was it left?
No, they took it.
The gargoyle took the knife.
Yeah.
At the moment, my working theory is that the whole heist was to get that knife.
We don't necessarily... Sorry.
Mhm.
Jeep was nothing sort of like... He'd be sort of like... Just like fiddling with something attached to his belt.
Mhm.
He goes... Could it be possible that the gargoyle... The stone thing... possibly hired the kobolds?
I think it's entirely possible.
Because I'm just thinking, if the dagger had anything to do with the kobold, surely a kobold would want to be the one to grab it. Maybe the dagger has something to do with the gargoyle.
Yep, that's fair.
Graska, have you ever seen anything like the dagger in your time being a kobold?
I can't remember anything from before a couple of months ago. I had no memory. I get bonk on head, wake up here. I've turned into Jar Jar Binks.
I did tell you to watch out with that accent.
You sound like a mix of Jar Jar Binks, Stitch, and Danhausen.
With a bit of Kermit the Frog as well.
Stitch, grass can no, it's a boo-boo.
Have you anyone
I've never taken experience off people before. However, I'm considering making it an exception.
Well, for every single time that Leah... At least Leah hasn't gone Welsh.
That's true.
Dude, how many times has Leah gone Welsh DMing for us?
A big bad broom.
Is anyone here good at art?
No. I mean, I'm okay.
One eye. Any special talent for art you want to display about now?
I can play the lute. Does that count?
Yeah, I mean, we can play instruments, and some of us can sing.
I can.
Okay, Duke shrugs and goes, and so like opens up his notebook, and so goes, bacon. No. And sort of like gets to a clean-ish page and goes, yeah, okay. And starts like sketching out what he remembers of the dagger.
Okay. Make a...
Jake is just trying so hard not to kill someone because he's getting a bit
twitchy. Okay, let's call it a sleight of hand.
Oh dear, sweet mother of God.
Just purely for the
19?
manual dexterity. Say
A 19?
Lovely. You've actually managed to retain a fairly good memory because you've seen it, but you actually do a pretty faithful rendition in pencil, presumably, crayon, bits of dust, whatever your medium is.
Cat
A
hair.
bit of like a slim bit of charcoal.
Yeah, okay. Actually, but yeah, and there's certainly plenty around. Yeah, okay. Bit of charcoal. Yeah, you actually do. Everyone actually has to give it to him. It's actually a really good illustration of the dagger.
Jeek looks up and goes, "My mother would be so proud." And sort of goes, "So I drew dagger because we do not have the dagger. I just thought that if we go around town, well, if we go to like people who this could belong to,
Well, we know who it belongs to.
well, no. So like, what if we can figure out what? I know that there's a word that my dad told me. Not penmanship, workmanship. See, like what kind of species would make something like this, and then we could narrow it down to people who could have an issue with person having it.
Wouldn't that also put a target on our backs for the people that use it?
Well, I kill them.
I mean, pretty much everyone. Word is getting around really quickly. You've been deputized to find out about it.
If people come after us, I have Bertie, my great axe, and then I have Gertie, Bertie, Gertie, and Flu, my hand axes. So we're fine.
We nearly died on that train.
Yeah, but I didn't. I'm fine. I stay angry.
I mean,
I get angry. I do not die. So if we get targeted, just put me in the middle, and I'll spin around and kill.
But I thought One Eye made a good point, and I think you did too, Jeek. It does seem that the gargoyle hired the assailants.
And this is why we go around to see, because if this means anything to the gargoyle thingy, because I don't think it means anything to the kobold thingy, because the kobold thingy went in the room to kill the thingy with the thingy. So what we could do is find the people who make this, and then we can go out, and then we can solve it, and we would have done our deputizations.
it sounds like you've all got a lot to be thinking about and going on with, and that is a really, really good bit. This is Bruce. I can see someone looking for where they need to make a delivery. So unless there's something else, I'm going to get on with that. But if you've got any more questions, do come back, ask me and Ria. We'll gladly help out. But I'm also on the clock. So, but you guys can stay here, work out what you're going to do, have your chat. I'm just going to. Any sort of
Just a quick question. Is it okay if I have my cigar here?
Yeah, as long as you don't use it to set fire to anything, and then we might have words. But
Why would I set fire to things? I've got axe.
that's a fair question. That's a fair answer. Yes, absolutely not a problem. If you want to smoke, you absolutely can. He says, holding his pipe in his hand.
Do you get that with cigar? Like strikes a match, lights it, and goes. So I think we've come up with a plan.
Boots is making his excuse. Is already walking off, sort of shouting out to a bunch of kobolds who seem to be pulling both ways at once on a consignment of timber.
So
I think we've got a couple of good leads. We've got where Percival's dad came from. We've got your drawing. I think we have a couple. We need to decide how to proceed next.
G looks at Grasco and goes, if this does belong to the kobolds, I do apologize if I have to wait. I've already killed kobolds, so don't worry.
She's just like,
I won't kill you, then.
aha. She
And then
just takes 2 steps back.
And then she gets out a gold coin and goes, "Here you go, Goring, for singing earlier."
Don't encourage them.
My mum.
I've already wrote several more songs.
That's when Goring, not Goring. This is when she goes to Ariana. My mama and papa always told me that it's not what comes out of the mouth, it's what's in the soul.
Yes. Two of the snakes kind of go, getting ready to plug Ariana's ears if necessary. Yeah. So what do folk want to do next? Because we have a few options. We can talk to kobolds. We can talk to just people, or we can go and seek out Percival's dad, where he came from.
The sun is well risen by now, so a more for those of you from civilized lands, a more normal feel of starting. It's finished transitioning from nighttime to the daytime in terms of
Daytime.
Work is carrying on, continuing. There's got that smell of hot dust starting to get into your nostrils. What are you doing?
Oh God, has Jake took charge? I fucking hope not.
Please take charge. I don't know. What I take charge.
Oh God. Putting the rogue in charge.
He goes, wait there, and gets a coin out of his pocket and goes, "That's definitely a coin."
Go back to your buttons again, aren't you?
For some reason, Cupcake keeps making its way into all my role plays.
How far? Oh, go on. Sorry, Jake.
If I flip heads, we go to speak to Kobold. I flip the opposite of heads. We go and see the place where the dude's dad lived.
Rather, you go talk to the mercenary group that his dad used to be part of.
Yeah,
the Rangers.
That's when she goes, "Never actually done one of these before," and just flips the coin.
Mm-hmm.
And
roll a 2-sided die.
And comically, it bounces off his nose and lands on the floor.
Okay, well, flip a coin. You tell me. You tell me.
He looks at it and goes, "It's tails." So we go see mercenaries.
Okay.
And then he picks it off and wipes the dust off it and then puts it back in his pocket.
Oh, was it heads or tails?
It was the opposite of heads.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, to the mercenaries then. From the sound of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, guys, if I'm overcompensating. It's either this or I cry.
Okay, fair enough. Right, in that case, certainly travelling to the, make your way through the town, and it's that everything you might expect. Shops are starting to open. Okay, you got the smell of food. It's like I said, the sun's well up, but some places are opening sooner rather than later, and it's that still early enough that the streets aren't crowded. You're moving away from the main street and the that oldest core bit into definitely a more threadbare and sort of cheaper, poorer part of the town. So the buildings are in a less well maintained state. There's more broken boards on the boardwalks either side of the street.
So we've entered the Wild West version of Portsmouth.
Hey, I mean it's
that's
true.
a description.
I mean it's true, but
Yeah.
hey,
further away you can see the tents that were described for where the kobolds are, but your path is sort of taking you further around the north, and sort of getting closer to the enormous outcropping of red rock from which the town gets its name. Sort of this large sort of literally dominating sort of natural formation that sort of is visible from miles away, which is kind of why they sort of seem to have sort of settled the town here. The camp itself is very much one way. It's not higgledy-piggledy. It's very much an organised. I'm just trying to find the thing that I made for this. From having been told that they were ex-soldiers and that they were mercenaries, you might have expected a bit more of perhaps a bit more ramshackle or a bit more sort of idiosyncratic, quiet, whatever. But there's a very actively precise layout that's taking place here. Let me just move the map. Here we go. Ping you. Boop. As you approach, well-formed palisade around the outside. The tents you can see through the area are laid out with strict order. There's some soldiers practicing drill on sort of this level area towards the middle of the camp, and they seem to have a sergeant of some description overseeing what's going on there. And as you're walking up, two of the militia are there, blue cloaks, shields to one side. They've got sort of bows slung, spears sort of leaning against the palisade, and observing you with interest as you approach. If you want to rearrange yourself in any order on the map, you are welcome to do so.
I'm like, hello, hi.
Morning.
Was thinking that with it being 10:15, are we finishing up or are we going?
I was going to sort of say make a brief introduction, and then we'll do that as a pausing point, because yes, we are coming up on the 2 hour mark.
I'll just start out with, hi, I'm Ariana, and these guys are Jeet, Graska, Gorink, and Akafera, and sorry, my bad.
Glad someone recognizes me.
I'm sorry, it was my fault. And because she's a little nervous, these big guys, and she's terribly squishy, but she's like, we were on the train where someone we've gotten to know, Percival, was sadly killed by kobolds and a gargoyle, and we understand that his dad used to kind of be around here.
Okay. Make a persuasion check with disadvantage. He's looking at you with deep suspicion. Not so fussed about yourself, Akin Ferris in particular. He seems to be quite wary of. Damn good roll. Okay.
Different from 2 weeks ago with my
much better rolls than last time. So it says, "Young Percival's dad." I'll get the Sarge for you.
That would be grand, thank you.
And that's where we stop. And we'll pick this up next time. Fantastic. Wonderful. Just double checking. Yes, I've got you on the right map. I've got the right people there. Thank you all very much. Just coming up on the 2-hour mark, keeping it sort of short and snappy. I'm adjusting to this as much as anything else. We've run so many games where we've meandered and not have a pace to it. But actually, you've actually got quite a lot done in this session. You've identified who his father was. That the dagger, I think you're probably quite right on that. That the dagger is part of the mystery. You've managed to sort of track down and actually start to have a plan of action. So awesome! Thank you all for taking part. Thank you also to anyone who stayed with us on the stream. Always a joy. I know we don't interact a huge amount, but we've been so locked in on trying to get Golic to stop singing that we may have missed a couple of conversations, and we will have a look. But we are very grateful for you all being part of it. Same again for next week. Hopefully for most people, we'll have that conversation on the scheduling. But I shall take this opportunity now to pass you back to Leah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim. It's been an interesting stream. Very interesting. Yes, we will be back with D&D on Tuesday for the other game. This game is back next Saturday. We'll be streaming on and off as time goes this week. I'm not going to give any estimation because we're doing pop-up surprise streams because most of us are bored and want to kill stuff. So and it's always fun just to interact with people while we're doing that. Other stuff. Oh yeah, next week it's my birthday, so yay.
Yay.
Yay. That's on the Friday, so don't worry about that. We'll still be streaming.
I'll be
Birthday stream.
Yay.
I'll be buying you a present when I get paid on the 16th.
Yeah, whatever. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Bless you. That was a noise.
Yes. We'll be back at some point this week. Definitely Tuesday with D&D, other stuff. Probably tomorrow as well. We'll see. Probably killing stuff. Oh God, what else is going on this week? Oh, all sorts.
Who knows? We'll get to it when we
Who
get
knows?
to it.
On that note, as everything, thank you everybody for being here tonight. If you missed Chris will be back next week, hopefully, because Chris is currently in the Black Country. That sounds really bad when you say it like that.
Yeah, you might want to work on your phrasing.
The Black Country is a name for Birmingham.
Yeah.
It's the other name for Birmingham. And not in a racist way. Before anybody says that, that is not what it
You're
is.
overthinking it now. You're overthinking
Yeah,
it now.
overthinking
I
it.
feel like I think I need to grab a shovel right now.
I've got a couple of spare ladders at work. I can
Yeah.
bring those in as well. Yeah, keep going. Right.
We will be back tomorrow probably. Yes. Take your meds, stay hydrated. As always, from all of us here, get some sleep. Good night.
Not at all.
Bye.